Remember, you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Welcome to Ash Wednesday on Going to Ground. And friends, you find me in one of my favourite churches in Wiltshire. This is All Saints Ham. And some of you who have watched Going to Ground over the years, as it is now, 3 years next month, goodness me, will know that this is where I, in the summer, recorded the songs that will become my new record, Evensongs, and spent the day here on a beautiful August holiday, and it's lovely to return. It's an absolute gem, as they say here. There's a purity of light, simplicity of form, and a double, if not triple-decker pulpit, which is always a bonus, and some lovely box pews, a gallery, and as I say, with the limited stained glass, although there is just a beautiful, I don't know, I ought to know what it's called right up in the, it's like a tracery light, I think, something like that. Do you see in the top there, a beautiful rose in stained glass, but that's, I think, all there is. So there's a sort of whiteness, a white light about the place, which, as I say, gives a purity to the mood in the church. I love it here. Although Ash Wednesday is a day for getting slightly dirty, for remembering our mortality, and many of us will be sporting an ash cross on our foreheads at some point during the day. If you're a believer, you might not be. And even if you are, that might not be your custom. But it's a good one, I think. I noticed some molehills when I was coming in, and I think I'm going to take a bit of the molehill earth and make a cross on my forehead of that as I leave. Because I don't actually have a service tonight, and I'll miss that at the beginning of Lent, but I am marking it. And partly with you here, one of the great losses, I think, to contemporary society of the slow recession of Christian faith from our public life and ways of being our culture, I guess, is the idea of original sin, which is an unattractive and unpopular idea, and probably was at the best of times. But I think it was one of the greatest moral contributions to society, even if it's problematic, as we say now, in various ways. And mainly, I think, because it gives us the necessary humility that the need or the sinfulness of other people is in some ways at least an echo of our own, and is it's both a leveller, a humbling thing, and it also recognises our moral agency, our independence. We are men and women of consequence, if you see what I mean. Our actions are consequential, and we're not brute beasts or automata who are simply programmed to live in a certain way. Understanding that we are prone to sinfulness, to evil, and to bad, deeply mistaken attitudes and ways of living, is to acknowledge our moral agency. That in some small way, at least, our actions have an impact upon the cosmos. They do actually change the course of history. Of course they do. That is what history is, isn't it? It's the progress of moral actions and decisions taken for good and for ill. And I think there's something profound that is lost when we take away our fallenness from that. It affects everything. Our common law is based upon that understanding. And a lot of the charitable life of our country as well. It's easier to love your neighbour as yourself if you recognise that, like your neighbour, you too, we too, I too, am deeply fallen. That's the sermon anyway for Ash Wednesday, and I pray that whatever you're about today, there will be an opportunity to remember your own need, but not in a way that causes us self-pity, because actually the original sin is almost the wrong phrase, because it's not the deepest and truest or even first thing about us. The first thing, the original thing about us, is that we are loved and created personally, we believe, with the intention of God and his goodwill, and moreover are saved from our sin and all that brings us and the world down. Those are the truest things, and our sin must be seen in the light of that good purpose, and that we are entirely held in a loving destiny, is our belief, at least in the church. You might believe different things, and you will do, and feel free to join that conversation. And I love hearing back from you, either privately or in the comments here. I think I'll sign off there and go and find that molehill. But friends, a happy and holy Lent to you, whatever you're taking up or giving up, and God bless you as you go to ground.